I guess what I would try to say is this is I read this in the chat. This is exactly what I mean. We don't have really a civilization here. By civilization, here's what I mean. Civilization, as I would define it, is when you have both the state, you have some kind of harmony between a state and the material base outside the state in the form of the people. The people in their telluric, earthly existence come to an understanding with the state, and this mediation produces a civil society, right? But United States to me is it's pretty much the like it's the caricature of the anti-communist that they make of like communist countries. It's like one universal state that has no regard for the earthly reality of its people. And if you come into there's no like civil society here. It's just here's the state and then chaos. You know what I mean? So
Sure, there's actually a mediating figure in American literature there. The Native Americans.
interesting. Elaborate.
Native Americans are not they're like this idea that like there was like anti-Native American racism or something like this like a purely eugenics ethno anthropological rational disdain or whatever is not the case at all because the Native Americans were always they've had a huge influence on the way we organized our society here, and they were always that mediating figure because they were in the anarchy of nature, and the ambiguity was like what is their form of order. And if you're saying like you were talking about the Mongols earlier, right? Well, that's closer to like what the Native American societies were like, and that's always like from the beginning it was like how do we merge with the Native Americans, like how do we become one thing like as Americans. That's like the question. That's like why you have like Hiawatha, like Longfellow, the Longfellow poem, like these things, they're like American Republican things. And we have this sort of a civic mythology in which the Native American plays an extremely important role in legitimizing things as being from like authentically from the land and the people, which is why like land back, etc., has been so necessary by the NGO plex to for them to monopolize that brand space because like everyone kind of authentically recognizes that the Native Americans have like the most authentic relation to this land. But in a sense, like the American communism would be to like we all become Native Americans.
Hmm. That's actually very interesting. Um, huh.
Like we are all the people. Like this idea, like I'm a Native American. Like my family's been here for God knows how long. Like, am I a Native American? This is what the nativists were saying, right? The know nothings and things like that. They would actually describe themselves as Native American. Yeah, and this was like this was like a patriotic thing, even like a jingoistic, chauvinistic thing in some sense to claim yourself to be a Native American. I mean, you could see that fucking Pocahontas does it, Elizabeth Warren. But I mean it in a not like in that sort of like cringe, like using it for like I was so oppressed and status thing, but more as like an aspirational thing. Like people, that's like also I think what is sort of wrong. Like, the Redskins or whatever as the football team is being considered as like a derogatory or something. No, it's like an aspiring thing. It's like these were people that like America wanted to replicate in a way. Like it wasn't this like I don't know, some aspects of like a patriarchal or a condescending attitude towards the Native Americans, but I don't know. I think much deeper, like the American mythology. The Native Americans are like they're not they're not represented as like usually as like reprehensible and like below civilization, but as like an admirable enemy, like as like a worthy foe.